This story takes us back to 20,000 years ago, when humans were divided into small tribes. In this story, we see the ancient European people who lived in tribes and hunted together. Here we are shown one such tribe. After some months, the cold season was about to arrive, so along with his tribesmen, they came out for hunting to collect food for the winter. In front of them, there was a huge herd of wild buffaloes. All the people crawled slowly towards the herd of buffaloes. The buffaloes, to save themselves from the hunters, started running in the opposite direction. Many of them one by one fell into the valley, but one buffalo was left. That wild buffalo, in anger, ran straight towards Nuyan, the son of Ergan. Ergan, who was the leader of the tribe, saw this and, to save his son, threw a spear at the buffalo. The buffalo was hit by the spear, but even after being injured, it didn't stop attacking Nuyan. It pushed Nuyan up from the cliff. And from here, the story moves forward, where we see the people of the tribe preparing for hunting. They were making different kinds of sharp weapons from stones. This was not just preparation, but also a rule that new people who wanted to take part in hunting had to make these stone weapons. In this competition, Ergan's son Nuyan also passed. That same night, Nuyan's mother said to Ergan, "Don't take Nuyan with you on the hunt. He is still a child. I love him very much and I don't want to lose him." Ergan replied, "Winter is coming and everyone has to be strong to survive. Don't worry." The next morning, all the tribe members left for hunting, but Nuyan's mother was worried for her son, thinking that something might happen to him. Ergan tried to calm her down, saying, "Don't be afraid, nothing will happen to him." After walking some distance, another tribe also came there. They too had come out for hunting to collect food for winter. After a long journey, they reached a huge stone structure. Many of their ancestors had lost their lives on this hunting journey, so the stone monument was built in their memory. As they moved ahead, they saw a wild boar. They injured it with spears. Ergan asked his son Nuyan to kill it with his knife, but Nuyan hesitated, so Ergan snatched the stone knife from his hand and killed the boar himself. After that, he told his son, "I never thought you would be such a coward. Only the strong can stay alive here. This is the law of the jungle." In the dark of the night, when everyone was eating the animal they had hunted, suddenly strange sounds started coming from around. Hearing this, Ergan told everyone to stay alert, and then, all of a sudden, a lion appeared. It quickly attacked and grabbed one of the boys from the tribe, carrying him away. The next morning, they built a small grave in the memory of that boy. After that, they set out once again in search of their next hunt. But even after traveling many miles, they could not find any more prey. After walking the whole day, they decided to stay in a cave at night. There, Ergan made tattoos of stars on his son Nuyan's hand. Actually, this was like a map, showing which side their home was. So, if anyone got lost during hunting, they could use this map and return home. The next morning, once again, they set out in search of prey. And then, they suddenly spot the footprints of wild buffaloes. Seeing this, everyone becomes happy. Now, they begin their hunt for those wild buffaloes. And then, the scene comes where a wild buffalo, Nuyan, was thrown from the cliff. He fell down. But luckily, he managed to grab onto a rock between the cliffs and kept hanging there. Ergan quickly reached the spot and shouted to his son, "Don't lose hope, I will save you." But suddenly, the rock that Nuyan was holding broke apart. Nuyan crashed down, hitting against the rocks, and finally landed on a narrow passage between the cliffs. Ergan wanted to climb down and save his son, but the other tribe members stopped him. They said, "There is no way down from here. Your son is no longer alive. We cannot lose you too. You are our leader. It is your duty to protect us and take us back home." But Ergan refused to listen. He sat at the edge of the cliff the whole night, calling out his son's name again and again. In the end, he realized his son was gone. By the next morning, when Nuyan didn't return, the whole tribe built a small stone memorial for him, and then carried their hunted animals back toward the tribe. After some time, a vulture landed on Nuyan's body and started pecking at him. But before it could eat him, Nuyan suddenly opened his eyes. He pushed the vulture away and called out for his father, but no answer came back. He understood everyone had left, and now no one could help him. Still, Nuyan didn't give up. He tried to climb the cliff, but he couldn't go too far. Below him was a deep valley, and perhaps fate was giving him one more chance to live. Soon, it started raining. Because of the rain, the valley below slowly began to turn into a river. Nuyan realized that if he wanted to survive, he had to jump into the water. He waited and watched carefully. When he felt the water was finally deep enough, he thought, "If I jump now, I won't get hurt." So Nuyan took a deep breath and leaped into the river. But the moment he hit the water, the impact knocked him unconscious. The next day, when he woke up, he found himself in another place. He had survived the fall, but his leg was badly injured, so he tied wooden sticks around his broken leg, making it strong enough so he could walk again. Then, he managed to climb back up to the cliff from where he had fallen. But when he reached the top, he saw that his people had already built a grave for him. Tears filled his eyes, as he realized his father Ergan and the whole tribe believed that he was dead. Suddenly, he heard strange noises around him. Sensing danger, Nuyan quickly climbed a dry tree and spent the whole night up there. The next morning, when he went down to drink water, he saw a pack of wolves running towards him. Some wolves attacked him, and he quickly ran back toward the tree. But just then, a wolf grabs hold of his leg. Nuyan stabbed the wolf with his knife, injuring it, and then quickly climbed back up the tree. The wolves stayed under the tree the whole night, waiting for him. When morning came, the wolves had all gone, except for the one wounded wolf from last night. Nuyan then made a spear for himself using his knife. He walked toward the wounded wolf, ready to kill it. But when he looked at its weak and suffering state, he felt pity. He changed his mind and decided not to kill the wolf. After that, he first ties the wolf's mouth with a cloth and then carries him back to the cave where he had stayed one night with his tribe. The next morning, he wakes up and goes out looking for herbs. He crushes those herbs and puts them on his injured leg. Meanwhile, while he is drinking water, he notices that the wolf has managed to free its mouth from the rope. At first, he gets scared seeing this, but then Nuyan calmly walks towards the wolf to give it water. The wolf also gets frightened when Nuyan comes close, but Nuyan softly says, "I will not harm you. I want to save your life." Hearing this, the wolf drinks the water. Now, even the wolf understands that he is not in danger. The same herbs Nuyan had prepared for his leg, he also applies on the wolf's wound. Then he gives the wolf the same insects that he himself eats for survival. Slowly, a bond begins to form between them. Before evening, Nuyan manages to hunt a rabbit, because he hadn't eaten anything for many hours. At night, with great effort, he makes a fire and cooks the rabbit. He shares a portion of it with the wolf. Both of them are badly injured, so they stay together in the cave for a few days. One night, Nuyan looks at the tattoos on his hand, which his father Ergan had made. Those tattoos are like stars. When he looks at the real stars in the sky, he says to himself, "I must go home. I must see my parents again." Then Nuyan tells the wolf, "You should also return to your pack." The next morning, he gets ready for the journey. He tells the wolf, "Go back home before the snow starts to fall," and he begins walking away. But he notices that the wolf, whom he has now named Alpha, is still following him. Even after traveling a long distance, Alpha doesn't stop. Nuyan tries many times to send him away, but the wolf refuses to leave. In truth, Alpha had developed a bond with Nuyan because Nuyan had saved his life. At that moment, Alpha sees a wild boar and tries to hunt it, but fails. Nuyan realizes the wolf is hungry, so he gives Alpha the food he had saved for himself. This was the first time Alpha ate food directly from Nuyan's hands. From here, their true friendship begins. Later, Alpha hunts a rabbit, which they both eat together, and at night, they sleep side by side. The next morning, Alpha licks Nuyan's face to wake him up. As Nuyan wakes, he laughs and says, "You smell so bad," and playfully pushes Alpha into the river. The two of them bathe in the river together, and there Alpha even catches a fish for food. After this, Nuyan continues his journey. At night, they sit together around the fire. Suddenly, Alpha senses something. We see some other wolves appear nearby. Alpha goes to them. It turns out this is Alpha's family. Nuyan understands and tells him, "You should be with your family," so the wolf leaves with them. The next morning, Nuyan starts his journey again. Now the weather has become even colder, and snow is falling everywhere. Nuyan keeps moving forward through the snow. After walking for a while, he sees something in the distance, a group of wolves eating a dead animal. Among them, Alpha is also there. Alpha is not allowed to eat by the other wolves. Nuyan recognizes him and starts running toward Alpha. But while running, the ice suddenly breaks, and Nuyan falls inside. Actually, it's a frozen lake. When Alpha realizes what's happening, he runs toward Nuyan and tries to break the ice by jumping on it. But the layer of ice is too thick and doesn't break easily. Under the ice, Nuyan starts running out of breath. Somehow he manages to pull out his knife and break through the ice, finally coming up to the surface. Once again, Nuyan and Alpha are reunited. To save himself from the freezing cold, Nuyan quickly lights a fire, takes off his wet clothes, and warms himself. The next morning, Nuyan continues his journey with Alpha. After walking a while, he spots a man in the distance. Feeling happy, he runs toward him, but when he gets closer, he realizes the man is frozen to death. Seeing this, Nuyan feels deeply sad. He then goes inside the man's tent, hoping to find something useful, but it's empty. So, Nuyan takes the man's bow and arrows and moves forward. Soon, he sees that a pack of hyenas is chasing them. Both Nuyan and Alpha start running for their lives and hide inside a cave. They manage to escape the hyenas, but now they are inside the home of an even more dangerous animal, a black panther. The black panther suddenly attacks Nuyan, but before it can reach him, Alpha jumps in and attacks the panther. While the two animals are fighting, Nuyan, seeing Alpha getting weaker, shoots an arrow at the panther, killing it. Alpha was saved, but while fighting the black panther, he got many small injuries. After the fight, Nuyan carefully applies medicine to Alpha's wounds and thanks him for saving his life. He promises Alpha that he will never leave him alone again. The next morning, both of them continue their journey once more. On their way, they come across a tall mountain, and from there, Nuyan spots something familiar, the stone structure built by his ancestors. Seeing this, he becomes very happy because now he knows he's been walking in the right direction all along. His tribe isn't far anymore. He starts walking again with Alpha, but after a while, Alpha collapses. Because of weakness and wounds, he can't walk anymore. Without wasting any time, Nuyan lifts Alpha in his arms and keeps walking toward the tribe. The snowstorm is very strong, and Nuyan has been traveling for weeks. He's extremely tired, but he doesn't give up. Slowly, step by step, he moves forward. After a long struggle, he finally sees his village in the distance. Meanwhile, his father also notices someone approaching from far away. After so many days, when Nuyan finally sees his home again, his happiness has no limits. Somehow, he reaches the tribe and collapses there. Seeing him, his parents rush toward him. They can't believe their eyes. This is really their son. They had already already lost hope and believed he was dead. But now, seeing him alive, they're overjoyed. Nuyan, barely conscious, tells his father, "Please save Alpha." Then he faints. A few hours later, when he wakes up, he's in his home. His parents and all the villagers are sitting around him, and Alpha is lying beside him. But then they notice something surprising. Alpha has given birth to a few puppies. Seeing this, Nuyan is completely shocked. That means Alpha was actually a female wolf, and even though she was pregnant, she stayed with Nuyan every step of the way throughout their journey. Seeing her loyalty and strength, Nuyan hugs her tightly and thanks her from the bottom of his heart. As the story comes to an end, we see that after a few weeks, Alpha's pups have grown much bigger. This marks the beginning of a new era, a time when humans and animals start to live together as friends. In the final scene, Nuyan finally reaches home after facing countless challenges, and now Alpha and her pups are happily with him. And that's how the story ends. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.